Islam. Peace and Hotep. We're here once again. It's crazy right now, guys. It's just crazy right now. In the past week, I've seen so much stuff bashing Taj. It's like there must be something that Moors are doing right now. You know what I mean? Everybody's hating right now. Everybody. Everybody's hating on the Moors right now. For whatever reason, anything they can find, they're gonna hate. But it's okay because we got something for all those punks. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Islam to all the Moors that started putting all their stuff on the record, and have people baffled now that so many Moors are really out here exercising birthrights because they know what it is in their mind, not because they have a card or they have something, right? We know how to deal with IRS. We know how to deal with neo-Nazis. You know, they're constitutionalists. Don't get it twisted, huh? Don't get it twisted. Neo-Nazis are constitutionalists, right? Germany for Germans, white power and all that stuff. You know, we know what's up. We know exactly what's up, right? That's why Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, the whole crew, right, could use the KKK, right, to escort them where they're going when they go in the jurisdiction of KKK. To teach, black stuff. No, it's not black stuff. Nationhood. Nationhood, right? Everybody's on nationhood, except these haters that want to be a black nation and an African nation and every other nation except the only nation that anybody knows about that has any type of relevance during this time, right? Years, centuries of history, names of stuff, people taking things, making whatever, right? Whether it's like Sabir was talking about Prudential with Gibraltar, right? And they've been using that. They're not telling nobody that that's the Rock of Gibraltar, Gibraltaric, the Moor, not the African guy. Because remember, they know that he's the Arab. Yeah, they know that he's Arab. Well, certain people are going to talk about, Arabs, we're not Arabs. But Rock of Gibraltar is after a Moor. Everybody knows that that's a Moor. He's identified as that. He has a name, but they know him as a Moor. They don't know him as an African. They don't know him as a black, you know, black king of some nation of black tribal people. Everybody's hating right now, but it's all good. They're gonna hate. That's just what it is. They're gonna do that. So we're gonna deal with some questions first because I got about 13 questions from one individual. So we're gonna slap some of these questions up right now so we can clear up people's perspective with regard to Noble Drew Ali and our duty to make sure we take serious what he presented. He presented certain stuff. Okay. Marcus Garvey presented stuff. Um, W. Du Bois presented stuff. Right? Whoever. Mordecai Herman presented stuff. Everybody presented something. Right? Everybody, as far as the heads were concerned, right, were teaching about nationhood, unification, all the regular, right? So when people do things, because this is happening based on individual wrote an article, right? Posted the article, and then asked more, so what do you think about the article, right? And then based on his references that he used for the article, you already got problems. I don't have to read anymore. because there's problems. There's issues right here. Like just because I read the reference list, there's about 3, 4 of those that aren't credible. So that eliminates a part of your paper, which makes it void, but it's published.
Exactly.
But this is why we tell Moors that if you're coming into this information, you're telling people whatever, right? They better ask Moors stuff if they want to know about Moors. Don't ask black guys. Don't ask Egyptologists. Don't ask chematologists. Don't ask, you know what I mean, Hebrew Israelites. Don't ask anybody but Moors who wear fezzes, who say Noble Drew Ali and Moroccan flags and stuff like that. Only talk to those people if it comes down to Moors. Don't ask anybody else because they don't know. They don't know. They could assume as much as they want, but if they're not a card-carrying member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, they don't know. Like they have absolutely no idea what this really is. And they'll front like they know something because they knew somebody or they sat in a class for a little bit or whatever. But
you know the funniest thing today? I was me and my brother went to pharmacy today. I told something. Vegan restaurant.
yeah,
The guys was open. So I went up there and the guy's like, oh, he's like, what are what are you? I'm a Moor, right? He's like, a Moor? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what is that? I'm like, that's who you are. Like, I am and you are too, but you don't know that. After me, he's like, no, I never heard that before. I'm like, you should, right? I'm like, you don't know who Drew Ali is? He's like, what? No, I'm like, no, who Drew Ali? He's like, no, I never heard of him. Like, you know who Marcus Garvey is? I'm like, yeah, so you should, if you know Marcus Garvey, you should know Drew Ali. That these guys basically helped us get back and on notice and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? After he's like, no, I never heard of him. I'm like, yo, you should go look him up because that guy should get a lot of thanks. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I know you have Selassie and everything, but it's like that guy, he did a lot for over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? After the next guy walks in, after he's like, oh, he's like, you don't know what Drew Ali is? Like, yeah, I know who he is. The next guy say, I know who he is. And he's like, oh, as he looks at me, he looks at me, he's like, oh, he said, you're more advanced, you're more smart. I'm like, no, it has nothing to do. And the guy said, no, it has nothing to do with that. He just researched it when he found out who it was. I'm like, I had to go back to find out who it was to know who he really is. He's like, I'm gonna go do that.
Right. And it starts right there. Yeah. With them focusing on him.
Exactly.
Forget who's the supreme whatever, and there's this thing called a temple, a building that you can go to, and all this. Forget all that. Yeah. But it's not idol worship that we're dealing with. It's the man brought information. Check it out.
It's true.
Like he brought some info. Like he brought some info.
Exactly.
But nobody wants to check it out. They want, oh, nah, somebody got arrested, so I don't want to do nothing with that. All right, well, whatever. We'll just be over here, you know what I'm saying? Exercising. As we're supposed to. And, when people are ready, that's why Drew Ali said, don't close the door. Keep the door open. Because, they're losing power all over the planet.
Yeah, it is. And they after the door's closed on them, but it's not. Right. There, if they want to take it.
Take it as yours, right? So let's get these questions right here. First question. Since the MSTA is a movement fundamentally based on scientific reason, so when they start going over and those stuff right there, you already know what that is.
Exactly.
Who are Drew Ali's biological parents, and when, where were they born? What is their race? What did they work as? And then we'll just do question 2 and 3 as well because they're relative. Yeah. Since the MSTA is a movement fundamentally based on scientific reason, this is question 2 now. Who are Drew Ali's adopted parents, and when, where were they born? What was their race? And question 3, did Drew Ali have family members, right? So people are going to go ask the black guy, right? And the black guy's going to go and, information age, you know what I'm saying? And do the PowerPoint presentation. Oh, yeah, Noble Drew Ali's a fraud and all this type of stuff. Well, how come nobody never asked Noble Drew Ali what he did?
Exactly.
How come they're going to go everywhere and get a reference from everywhere about Noble Drew Ali, but not use his?
Exactly.
But now when we say his, we're not talking about his from a perspective of Holy Quran and divine constitution and bylaws and just the common stuff that he talks about.
Yeah.
There's deeper information on this side that only if you're a member you have access to,
Exactly.
right? Which is what was supposed to entice people to join, because there's a deep well over here. We're letting you know there's a deep well over here. Look at how we're exercising. This is what back then we're saying, right? And then they got away from that. Stop the exercising. Stop showing that we're more.
Yeah.
You know, they took, um, you know, don't show your card to European and blew it up like, you know, don't wear your fez outside. Make sure you have a bag, put your fez in, you know, and all this stuff. When this is our birthright,
Exactly.
that we will be exercising regardless of what, you know. And if there were orders from Noble Drew Ali about wearing your fez, not wearing your fez, carrying your fez to the temple, whatever, that's because of wayward niggers that were in the alleyway with their fez on, go to the strip club with their fez on, chilling with the pimps or whatever, their boys with the fez on, and think they're not causing any harm to the nation because, you know, they're Moors, but they're going to chill with the pimps.
Exactly.
You know, put the pimp on that he's a Moor so he can, you know, change up himself.
Exactly.
Right? So this is how we get to the idea of the mental slave masters. Okay? Because the mental slave masters are the ones that have nothing to do with this, but they got the most stuff to say about this. How come you don't have a card for this, right? How come you don't study this? You weren't a member of any, you know, sub Moorish group or nothing like that. Well, you guys got the most stuff to say.
It's what it says. They act like they know when they really don't know nothing. They just
they're just listening to the white man.
Yeah.
Because that's really where they're getting all the information from. Then they're going to come at us and say, oh yeah, we're the white man.
Exactly.
But hold on a second. So where do you get your information from about Noble Drew Ali?
Exactly.
Not some encyclopedia or something like that written by some European? But they're not going to call about that. Oh yeah, that they're getting the stuff from the white man. Right?
I'll never say that.
Right? And remember that you know, that game that people like to play with Moors. Oh, well, you know, you guys say that you're the white man, and we don't say that we're the white man. We say that there's a status, there's a political status called white, free white person that applies to Moors.
You don't understand that to find history, we have to go through God.
Have to.
You have to go through God. That's the only way you're gonna find history. You go back to God because that started a civilization.
Right.
So, and we're going by law. So therefore, that white means a whole different towards what they're talking about. Right. It starts with law first.
Exactly. Exactly. And so let's go to the law. Right. So this is Insider's book. I'm sorry, we can't show you what this book is. Oral statements of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Okay. So this is a Insider's booklet. You know, now it's accessible to people, but you know, people are having this and still don't know what they have because they weren't a member. They just see this as a book, they read it once and then they put it down, and you know, that's what it is. But as a member, you know, what Noble Drew Ali has is paramount to anything else that you have, that you think you got. I don't care how big it is, how much pages you got to flip over pages and all that. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. What he brought is key to unlocking the mental slavery. Right? So, with regard to those three questions, this is what Noble Drew Ali said now, right? Brother A. Wise Bey, Grand National Secretary, said that the Holy Prophet said, I didn't tell anyone where I was born or who my parents were because I didn't want people to make a shrine out of the place or make over my parents like was done with Joseph and Mary. And in the period. So don't come and tell me nothing about his family and ask me no questions about his family and was he related to whatever. Yo, this is the prophet. Everything I say is spirit. More's better heed. The prophet said, but I'm not going to tell nobody because, you know, I don't want nobody to make shrine of what, which is exactly what individuals trying to do. Find this information, you know, prop him up like, oh yeah, this is how the Moors look at Noble Drew Ali because the sky opened up when he was born, and the lightning came down, and the man ran down the lightning. Right? They try to make Moors be on some religious dogma, ritualistic, whatever. When, what do you mean?
Exactly.
We're Moors. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? The man said, lock the lips with the parents and the family stuff.
Exactly.
So leave it alone. There's so much more other stuff. What you want to know about his
It doesn't
family and
matter.
whatever? What does it matter where he was born?
Where he was born,
You know what I
set
mean?
you free.
You guys don't even know Jay-Z's dad's name and shit.
Exactly.
You want to know Noble Drew Ali's family members and whatever. Right? Right? Come again to the same thing, right? Question 3.5, and it's not a mockery, right? It's not a mockery, right? You already know because I told him watch, so I can answer the questions online because he wanted me to answer the questions in the chat thing. I'm like, no, send the questions, and then we answer them in class, so everybody could learn something, not just you because you wrote a paper. No, that's not what it is, right? So the next question: did an earthquake take place when Ali was born? Right? Right? And if so, isn't that spooky and unnatural? Right? So let's say there was an earthquake that happened when Noah Jolly was born. Right? Now, what's the perspective of when we talk about the fact that there was an earthquake? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yo, when Noah Jolly was born, an earthquake. Find me somebody else who, when they were born, there was an earthquake. In our time. No, but then they're going to say that we're worshiping him.
Exactly.
Oh, well, no, that doesn't mean nothing because, you know, 50 million years ago, that guy was born when there was an earthquake. Well, all right. But it's all on them because they're outsiders. They don't know.
Exactly.
So, again, if we talk about the earthquake, that's dealing with his life. That's dealing with his family. You know what I mean? You're talking about born. He said it right here. You know what I mean? I didn't tell anyone where I was born. Born. The term is used. So for you to ask if something about Noble Drawley when he was born, we're going against, I say he didn't tell anybody anything.
Exactly.
So if he didn't tell anybody, then and he's not around right now, because remember, he didn't tell anybody. This is his word.
Yeah, he did. He chose not to.
Okay, so if he chose not to, how come we have so much stories about how he was born and where he came from? Where's all the story? Where's all the story? Because of course, and this is for all those people who like to pull the as soon as Moore say something, like shit, they're gonna say, oh, hey, you're violating something, and no Jolly said that you're not supposed to, whatever, right? Okay, well, just putting it out there for Moors who like to talk about Noble Jolly's born and his family and all this type of stuff. Where did you get that information from? Because according to Noble Jolly, he never told anybody anything. So if he never told anybody everything, where are these stories coming from about his dad, mom, he was into whatever, and then they got it in a book, and then people are gonna take it and post it on freaking Facebook and say, yeah, in this book it says Noble Jolly's family, blah 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 blah. Right? No, some stuff is credible because there were people who were there that seen what happened too. Talk about born. It's not like he's looking to see what's going on. Somebody seen something, right? Somebody told something, right? Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But I said don't deal with that stuff. You know what I mean? So whether there was an earthquake or not, personally, is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't look at it spooky if there was an earthquake because that's the prophet. Who knows what happened when he was born? Anything could happen when he was born. And that's the prophet. That's the thought of Allah.
Exactly.
Coming to the earth in a physical form. Something had to happen. I don't know what, but something had to happen. Exactly. Whether people were there to see it, witness it, whatever, is irrelevant. Right? What did he work as before becoming a MSTA prophet? Okay, but he's not an MSTA prophet. He's Allah's prophet. Right? So if you want to know what he was or what work he did before becoming the prophet, you know, you need to go talk to Allah. Allah sent the prophet.
Exactly.
Allah didn't send, you know, Timothy, whoever, and Drew and Thomas, whoever people are talking about, you know what I mean? Right? He sent prophet, Muhammad Ali. Right? Okay. So there was a evolution that had to take place. You know, it led to gold. In order for this manifestation of Allah to be in the physical form. And now that it's in the physical form, it came from Allah. Allah is perfect. You don't question stuff. You say stuff's not legit. But Allah is perfect. Why would Allah send some dysfunctional prophet to save the people?
Exactly.
Right? That's how much faith they have in the prophet. That Allah sent the prophet. He never just came, you know, yeah, like, I'm here, you know what I mean? Allah sent him. And they're not even paying attention to Allah sent him. They just disregard the prophet. So that means you're disregarding Allah. If you disregard Allah, then, you know, no wonder you're getting choked out on the street corners and stuff like that. Because that's how real it is. Like, it's that real. Because it's not, things aren't happening to other people. And they honor their foremothers and forefathers. They honor their traditional garb or whatever like that. You know, once a year they got a little celebration where they, you know, do the street thing, shut stuff down, wear their orange or their purple or their whatever that they wear. You know what I mean? They have their customs that when they exercise them, it's not an issue. You know, people aren't fighting them because of, you know, we have that, but our people don't want that. Because Noble Ali came to save us from mental slavery that we have now.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
But now he was talking about back then. And for him to say now means that he knew that it's something perpetual.
Exactly.
Mental slavery is not something that there's an end where everybody's not going to be a mental slave. There's going to be mental slaves.
It's at worse all the time.
They always are. There always has been mental slaves. Right? Like these individuals, you know, on the plantation. Right? That take the position of overseer. Right? They take the position of overseer to brutalize their brother for the slave master.
Exactly. That made no sense.
What's all these people doing when they're bashing their birthright? The exact same thing that they're doing. Right? The exact same thing. They're taking the position of, instead of, you know, because, you know, their mistake is forgetting that slave master is a mason. He's not a dumb cracker on a horse with, you know, tooth missing or whatever like that, with overalls. You know what I mean? Right? You know, Django, Don Johnson, right? That's slave master. European, you know what I mean? Got the house and all that, you know what I mean? Go in the house, they got the Egyptian whatever, and the Moorish this, and because they're Masons. So their degree of what they're doing, they know that they're gonna get something for that, for what they're doing. So you know, put it on the next man. And then let him do it. And then he's doing it under the guise that, you know, I'm doing this and help out master because, you know, I'm going to get the whatever. When King Alfred plan will tell you that the first people getting the oven are the sellouts, are the black leaders who said, yeah, we'll side with you. Those guys are first in line to be exterminated. Those guys are first, the sellouts. Right? And then, you know, comes back to that same thing that, you know, people have the ability now to cloak themselves as Moors and put out information, and people really, you know, think that Fezan, Bessie's a Moor, right? You know, and they don't even have the ability to, you know, kinetically, telepathically know, you know what I mean, oracally know that something's wrong here with this picture, you know. And as we active more in this day and time, right? As we put out information to expose these jokers out here who are perpetrating a fraud, acting like they have some type of, you know, like Allah sanctioned them to be down with the Prophet. Because that's part of it too. You know what I mean? It's not just Allah and the Prophet. You know, Allah has to be in your heart too for you to even side with the Prophet. How you're supposed to side with him. Not like how some Moors half side. You know what I mean? Like they side with the Prophet when it's convenient to their situation. But, you know, other than that, when they're over here doing madness with the NOI, right? You know, Prophet doesn't apply there. But, you know, for this song to get everybody's attention, you know, Prophet, you know, the key line of the whole song. But over here, when it's, you know, play with these guys, you know, Moors ain't coming out, feathers aren't coming out, you know what I'm saying? But there's a masquerade, there's a supreme masquerade going on, right? As far as the ability for the mental slave masters to keep the people in mental slavery, because they don't want to listen to the Prophet. They want to listen to what sounds cool, what makes them. That's why people could come up and say Taj Tariq Bey teachings. There's nothing called that. You know, these goofs up here, right? Hebrew Israelites, you know, they're putting out videos about Canaanland Moors ID card. You know, Canaanland Moors don't have no ID card. What are you talking about? We're Moors. This is birthrights. This is not some clubism, join up to this because you filled out a form, you joined something. Right? And again, like, if people would stop playing games, right, and recognize 10 minutes, take 10 minutes. Forget what Seti said, forget what Taj said, forget what Kudro said, forget what King Noble said, forget what, you know, that guy who had the glasses with the thing and whatever, what he said. Forget what you seen on Sonnet or whatever, forget what you see on whatever, right? Walk into the building or contact someone directly, right, who is vibrating on the frequency of a Moor. You know who these people are. Even dumb nigger, just like you're saying, right? Man had no clue of anything, right? What are you talking about? Somebody else came, backed up what you're saying, and now he's on it.
I swear, I didn't know where he
And now he's on it, like, okay, I'm gonna go check this out, right? That's all. Leave people alone and let them figure out the rest of it, because it's a journey that they have to go through. This is why people come with questions and stuff like that, and based on your question, I know you're not on a journey. You're standing on the path or whatever, you know what I mean?
Watching and waiting.
It's on the path, just, you know.
What's going on over here?
Go this way, but, you know, you see anything. You know? Ain't no buses coming, nobody's coming so you can get the hitchhike or nothing like that. This is your path. So the path is for you to do something on it. You're not just on the path, waiting for, just waiting, right? And it's not a diss to question, right? But majority of people's questions, they can answer themselves if they just take 5 seconds, just do a 5-second research. You have a question? 5-second research. Bam, bam. Okay, well, I didn't find nothing. At least I could say I tried to look for something and I didn't find anything, right? Because all these things are part of breaking you from the mental slavery. Because you have to be the one to take off shackles. Ain't nobody coming and, you know, get the lock off your brain for you there, you know. Yeah, thank you very much. The individual is the one that has to. That's why, again, tell people, right? I don't play dirty Moors. I don't play dirty Moors. just because,
Yeah.
right? You know, Dirty Moors is why this guy has 13 questions. And all his questions are some controversial stuff like, who you been talking to, bro? That you even asking these questions? Who you been talking to? You know what I mean? And then they go back to the reference list. And then you already know, because on the reference list is the freaking people who's putting madness in this individuals and having them even questioning things that don't even need to be questioned, right? What was Ali's attitude towards World War One?
Who cares about what happened?
Right? And did he register for the draft? Now, if you're asking the question, you know, did Ali go for the draft? Right? When you already know that Cassius Clay, whose name's Ali, didn't do the draft, why would Noble Drew Ali do the draft if he didn't do the draft? And he's modern. Like simple stuff. Like simple. Not even, just by the name. Just by the name. Automatically something's supposed to go off in your brain. And if something's not going off in your brain, that's mental slavery. Because automatically, you hear Noble Drew Ali's name, first person to pop in there is, hold on a second. Muhammad Ali's name is there. He was part of the Nation of Islam or whatever.
And he didn't go to the
right? How did he get the name Ali? And I never heard about this name Ali ever before until Muhammad Ali. But then you never heard about Noble Drew Ali. But you know that name Ali. That's a name that sticks in your mind. Why? How come that name sticks in your mind? How come that name so like even uttering the name, the frequency is higher than L or Bay or Day or Al. Right? Because Ali is one of the 99 attributes. There's power in that. If you don't know how to wield power, you injure yourself. You have Parkinson's and stuff. Because you use the names you're not supposed to be using. Because names have power. You know what I mean? It wasn't some conceited stuff when Noble Drew Ali said, don't name your children Ali. It was a warning. You don't know what you're doing. You play with that name right there. You know what I mean? You play with that name right there. See what happens. Right? So, let's go back to these questions again because we're only a half hour in. We're doing good today. Time slowed down today for us to deal with this. But, all right. 6. If the 101 Quran question stated that the movement it was founded in 1913, Newark, New Jersey, why did it take Ali 12 long years before incorporating the movement in 1925, Chicago, Illinois? That's a good question. That's a good question, right? So what you're gonna and it's simple answer, right? It's simple answer. What you're gonna do your research on is home rule in the United States of America. Home rule. Just research home rule, and then it'll tell you what else or whatever. And then you'll realize why he had to do whatever in Chicago and he couldn't do it in New Jersey because of this thing called home rule. Right? That's where that answer is, and that's the answer. Ain't nothing else. Go check, see if something. Well, I don't know if that's the answer, right? We're giving the answer. Like that's what the answer is. It's not, what I mean, anything broad or whatever. That's what the answer is. As soon as you go check home rule, and you know about Noble Drew Ali and Moorish Science Temple of America, and that it was incorporated in 12 years later, it was incorporated. But yeah, that was when it was in Chicago that it was incorporated. Oh, so why did you incorporate it there and not in New Jersey? Because of the. So when you go check what home rule is, then that would lead you to why this why that happened. And if you could get a light bulb to go off with why he did it in Chicago, not Newark, New Jersey, right? Then other stuff's supposed to be going off now with regard to, Oscar the Priest being a member, and, how come the Chicago Defender newspaper was like pretty much the Moorish Guide without the name Moorish Guide on it. It's Chicago Defender instead, right? So you can see the scope, how far out Noble Drew Ali's tentacles reached out. That he wasn't on some, Chicago. You know what I mean? Right? So when you check that home rule thing, you'll get that answer for the why Chicago, Illinois, and 12 long years and all that. 12 long years. Everything is a process. You know, you know, 80-year-old talking about you had 80 long years of my life. To be here. Oh, that's it's part of the process, It's not the process. You Did Ali have a religious mentor in Newark, New Jersey between 1913 and 1924? And if so, what was his teacher's name? In Newark, he was known as Professor Drew, not a prophet. Yet, so did the professor. Yet, so did the professor have a religious guru? Did his teacher become a Moorish American follower of Drew Ali, since Ali later became prophet in Chicago in 1925? So for that answer, what you're going to do is you're going to go to dralimlbay.com, right? You go to his site, and then when you go to his site, what you're going to be able to do is study, 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 and you're going to find that answer right there. Guarantee you're going to find that answer, but you have to be patient because Alim's site is no joke. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You have about 25 boxes or whatever to go through. But I know the answer to your question is on that website right there. So go right there, dralimlbay.com, and you get your study on, and guarantee you'll find something. You'll find more stuff that'll make you realize what's good, but for the sake of time, because questions that you're asking are questions that um, questions that should have been asked before you wrote the thing, right? Because these questions are, the answers to these have a lot to do with the stuff that you're writing, right? Okay. Question 8. Why did Ali lists Marcus Garvey as his forerunner in the Circle 7 Quran, since Garvey was neither a Muslim nor American? Well, Garvey was American because he was Jamaican, and Jamaica is part of North America. So Garvey was American. That's why Garvey was the one. And that's the answer. You know, to go research, check out, or whatever. Jamaica's part of America. Facts. That's just what it is. Right? So there's that one. If you don't like it, you go out from Garvey and they could tell you some, send you all over there, right, into nothingness. If you want the truth, what it is, right? Because we don't deal with, cover stuff and hide stuff and, put out a little bit so you can be reeled in to come get some later. That's not what we do. We drop it all on you. You take it, do whatever you want with it. That's up to you. Right? 9. If the MSTA flag was based on the Moroccan national flag, why does MSTA religious literature, especially 101 Quran questions, nationality card, all glorify Mecca, Saudi Arabia, much more than Morocco, which was barely mentioned? Good question. Good question. I like that one. I got something for you though, because you guys, same thing we were talking about in the car when we were coming up here, right? That, everything's there, sitting there, right? So, chapter 47, right? Holy Quran. Okay? Egypt, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. Right? So Egypt, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. And when we check a map, right, we realize that Morocco is in Africa. Okay? And then Egypt's in Africa. And Saudi Arabia is in Africa. Okay? So the reason why, as he puts it, Mecca is glorified, it's not Mecca that's glorified, right? It's not Mecca that's glorified. It's Islamism that's glorified. It's going back to the ancient foremothers and forefathers, divine principles, because we are those people, not some pale people that they're looking at today, thinking those are the people from Mecca and the people from Saudi Arabia, right? Why would the prophet, right? Let's say, because you guys like to talk about Saudi Arabia, crap, right? Why would the prophet have his divinely prepared holy book with his picture in it, right? Before the Sultan, right? If he was honoring Saudi Arabia so much, why don't you put the Sultan first? Then it's just stuff. That's front page. No withdrawals first. Well, on the next page, Sultan. Oh, you guys siding with Saudi? No, they're siding with us. They're siding with the sovereigns of the world, right? That's why everybody wants peace of the Moorish Empire. And they break off a piece and call it Turkish Empire. They break off a piece, call it British Empire. Break off a piece, call it Egypt Empire. Break off a piece, and then they call it all this stuff, right? And then people are going to talk about, there's no recognition for the Moors. The Moors aren't recognized. When the people who they're saying don't recognize the Moors broke off a piece of Moorish history, and they're exercising it because they don't have a birthright. So they're taking these dumb niggers' birthright that don't want it. And they want to play around with their Hebrew Israelites and their Nuwapians and their, Atsikata nation and their, Moorish Science Temple. And when there's a nation backing all that. There's a nation backing all that. And if you don't want to stand up for the nation, if you can't stand up for the nation, right, then that means you're stateless. And if you're stateless, then you're going to be on the corner soapboxing because you don't have the competence to get a building. You're going to sit on the corner soapboxing. Instead of getting a building. No sense whatsoever. Right? Self-determination. Exactly. Right? Again, come back again to the same. When it was claimed Ali visited Egypt, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, England as part of his spiritual traveling prior to becoming prophet in 1925. Were there any evidence of his travels, since all international travels out of America needed documentation and registration? Okay, so the question that has to be asked is not, where's the documentation and registration, whatever like that, right? The question should be asked, how did he get back into the country? Forget how he left.
I think about it.
How did he get back? Because you're admitting that he was in, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and all these places, right? You know that he went there, okay? And when he decided that these lessons that I have learned need to be given to the people of North America, South America, Central America first, because they're in bad shape over there, right? He memorized the booklet, right? The key to him going and doing the traveling is to bring us back the divinely prepared teachings, right? That's found in the Holy Quran, Circle 7, Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Then that is going to lead you to the other stuff. But you have to be a member, because on the outside, you just get the Quran, or you just get the this, you get that, you just think that these are just some, booklets, articles, whatever that some guy wrote, some black guy with a fez on, you know what I mean? When that's it's way deeper than that. If you think that's all that it is, then sad mistake, right? So the question is, how do you get back in, right? Just like how Farrakhan get back in. You know? How do you get back in? Nobody doesn't ask the $1 million question. They always ask the $5 question, right? Get it wrong and then get mad that they lost the thing. What do you mean? You should ask the $1 million question, right? But why didn't you ask the $1 million question? Mental slavery. Because only an idiot's not going to ask the $1 million question. Especially if you know the answer. You know the answer, you're going to ask $5 question? Right? So, and then the other thing too, right? Why don't you go talk to the people who deal with the documentation and registration of international travels? Why are you asking, why are you asking Mars? Why don't you go call up Homeland Security and those people, FBI, because they got, they did their research, they got information, you can request information through them. If you want to find out so bad, why don't you go to the source? Go to the people that infiltrated. Let's see if you'll go to them and ask them questions about Moorish Science Temple of America. And let's see if you'll get answers that you're seeking. But, you should be talking to those guys. Talking to anybody about World War One, Noble Drew Ali's connection to World War One and all that. Why don't you gotta go ask the FBI and those people? They got FBI papers, thousands of pages on the Moorish Science Temple. Go ask them. Then comes back to Kudo said ask more, so I'm asking more. Then we're gonna give you answers, and don't be mad, and don't, what the answers are is what you get. That's what it is. We doubting Moors. You know what I mean? Especially when you ask more stuff that are active, right? Because passive Moors don't do classes and stuff like that and put out videos to say that they're, you know what I mean? They don't do that. They just have this. They know that it is. They recognize it. It's not a negative. At least they know that they're Moors, right? Even if they're passive, opposed to being dirty, knowing that you're Moors, but doing against what you should be doing if you're Moor. Because trust me, butchered this guy's mind. Whoever he talked to, butchered him. Butchered him. That you're asking these questions now? These questions should have been asked before you wrote the article. Right? Because I guarantee you, if these questions got asked before the article, you would have been writing the article. Because you'd recognize what Noble Drew Ali is, and no need to, boost him up or put him out there like he needs props or something. Noble Drew Ali don't need no props from nobody. I mean, he been did this, right? Um, the other one was, the other question was, if Ali went to Havana, Cuba for an important international conference, why are there no minutes or written documentation of it, either by Grand Sheiks or even reporting by newspapers like Chicago Defender? MSTA was known to be dedicated to minute-taking as illustrated by the first annual convention where daily activities were recorded in a pamphlet. Why was the same not done for the Cuba-Havana Conference? All right, so the 6th Annual Pan-American Conference. Again, when you go ask the people who are at the conference about the stuff. I can say for myself personally, right, that when, I came into the information and I heard about it, logically, you want to check. But if nobody drew all these names in the goddamn freaking Pan American stuff, then okay, we got some evidence for some people, right? So this was when we first came into the information, when we used to, library study, not computer study. We used to library study, you know what I mean? And in there. So go check the records, and one's there, two's there, three's there, four's there, five's there, seven's there, eight's there, nine's there, whatever. No six. No librarian. No librarian. There's no six. No records of six. And she's showing me articles in the newspaper. It's like saying, why wouldn't they cover it? Why wouldn't they cover it? But why is only six missing? And go check. Because I call all these libraries all over the place. And nobody could access any information on the 6th Pan American Conference. Right? Now, yeah, right? Wonder why, right? Now, now when we go to the part of, MSTA is known to be dedicated to minute taking. How come, there's no minutes about the Pan American Conference? Oh, well, there is, oral statements of Noble Drew Ali, right? That speaks about the Pan American Conference. But it's going to be put in here. They're going to ask Morris the question, where's the evidence? We're going to show them the evidence, but then they're going to say, prove that. Like, what do you want from us? What do you want? You know what I mean? What is it that has to be proven to make you say, you know what? Yeah, I respect Noble Drew Ali and what he brought, and I'm going to study what he brought. That's all. What's it going to take for people to do that? How much stuff we have to show over and over and over again? Different things, not the same stuff over and over again. Different stuff, different perspectives of whatever, right? Amore's going to take a freaking jump drive, right? A Google Drive, and have 50 million books in Google Drive. And only Moors have access to it, right? Because only Moors know what they got. Negro doesn't know what that is. Black guy doesn't know what that is. Chematologist, Egyptologist, whatever. Only Moors know what that is. And only Moors gravitate to that. You know what I mean? Not because of smarter than, just like you're talking about. Smarter than, and or we're holier because we follow you guys don't doctor. None of that. You study and then, you real recognize real. So this is what we have in our records about the Pan American Conference, right? As far as Moors are concerned. Brother I. Cook Bey, Grand Governor of Illinois, told Brother R. Love L., Grand Sheik of the MSTA, and Brother C. Tyson Bey, Chairman of the MSTA, about the time when the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator, went to the Pan American Conference in 1928. Now, you already know, because you're bringing up minutes for you know, documentation of stuff and all that, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, so remember that if you're saying that you have the minutes for the thing,
Yeah.
right? Then it should show in the minutes all the names, right? Because these are, grand governors.
Yeah.
If you want some evidence,
Yeah.
the minutes of convention that
Mhm.
you're talking about, we keep minutes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Moors are dedicated to that stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, well, go check the minutes and then make sure that these names are, listed in there.
Yeah.
So you can actually know that, okay, well, actually, this has some validity because, the names are in the minutes,
Mhm.
that you're saying Moors are meticulous in minutes.
Mhm.
All right, so since you have that, then make sure you use that as your evidence or as your reference point
Yeah.
for when you hear names or hear stuff
Yeah.
mentioned or hear whatever, that you can go check the minutes.
Mhm.
Because if that's the minutes for the convention, then everybody agrees with it. It's not nothing in argument as far as Moors are concerned,
Mhm.
right? At that time, the Holy Prophet went there and represented the Moors. Okay? And there was a Indian chief representing the American Indians. The conference was in Havana, Cuba, and the nations of both North, South, and Central America were present. Secretary of State Hughes of the United States represented the United States at this conference. Okay, so make sure you go check that guy. Secretary of State Hughes, 1928 Pan American Conference, because he was there. So if you go find information and it says that he was there, and then you go find information that there was an Indian chief there, and that there was all these people there, but you don't see nothing about saying that Noble Drew Ali was there, right? Then you know that something's up. Okay? Brother C. Kirkman Bey, who spoke 92 different languages, was the interpreter for the Holy Prophet at this conference. Brother I. Cook Bey said that when the Holy Prophet and Brother C. Kirkman Bey's ship was tied up at the dock, the Cuban army was standing on the dock. Oh, so the Cuban army was there.
Mhm.
So okay, so how about you call up Cuba, right? They should have the records
Mhm.
of the Pan American Conference. I mean, it was there,
That makes sense.
right? Oh yeah, instead of badgering Moors about proof stuff. Why don't you go to the actual people who had the damn conference?
Yeah.
See what they tell you, right? And I suggest that you find somebody who speaks Spanish and go talk to them because if you go talk to them in English, they're not gonna do it, right? You know you're running a fraud. The Cuban army was standing on the dock. Brother C. Kirkman Bey said something to them in Spanish, and the army came to attention. Then he and the Holy Prophet came down from the ship. At the conference, Brother C. Kirkman Bey addressed the conference in both Spanish and Arabic, and when the Secretary of State of the United States heard Brother Kirkman Bey speak, he said, "That's a dangerous man." Up to that point, up to that period of time, the United States received a 50-year mandate for this land. At this conference, the mandate for the land was given to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Brother G. Cook Bey, GS of Temple 1, said that Prophet Drew Ali showed us the mandate in the Adab chamber. So people could take it as whatever they want. You know what I mean? If you ask Moors, then they'll tell you some stuff.
Mhm.
If you have active Moors, they'll tell you some stuff, and then you're gonna go be able to check and go verify
Yeah.
and double check and triple check and quadruple check to make sure that what Moors say actually line up with something.
Yeah.
And Moors not just throwing stuff out there just because. Okay. So we wanna put in the people's mind again the concept of overseer, so they can spot these people by their actions.
Yeah.
See them coming a mile away. If if you are keen in recognizing that the mentality doesn't die.
Mhm.
That's why Noble Drew Ali could say, people who are against me 200 years ago, they're against me today and all that stuff, because the mentality doesn't die. Dirty Moors, always dirty Moors. They ain't ever going to be clean Moors because they feel like, it's time to change or whatever. Okay? Same thing with the overseer,
Mhm.
right? Overseer is always going to be the one that slave master could count on without a shadow of a doubt, to come through for him. You know what I mean? In a time of desperation, right? Which is really a fraud because it's not really desperation. He's just trying to get the karmic debt off himself because he doesn't want no nature coming back at him. And overseer is gonna go do it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have, for example, if we look at it from the Moorish perspective, right? You have Noble Juali, the master, the Adam, right? Top guy. You know? And he's giving orders to these overseers, right? And their job as overseers is to go uplift all humanity. But they're not uplift all humanity. They want to whip them, chain them, do this to that to them, rape them, right? Take their little grains of whatever that they had. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to helping their brother. Right? Overseer mentality. And you know, as soon as you hear, you know, nationality papers, money, fee, whatever, you already know. Slave master. Slave master is overseer. Working. Right? Francis Frederick has argued that some plantation owners employed slaves as overseers. He pointed out in his autobiography, "My grandmother's master was one of the hard kind. He had made her son an overseer. Consequently, my grandmother, having committed the crime of attending a prayer meeting, was ordered to be flogged by her own son. This was done by tying her hands before her with a rope and then fastening the rope to a peach tree and laying bareback. Her own son was then made to give her 40 lashes with a thong of raw cow's hide, her master standing over her the whole time, blaspheming and threatening what he would do if her son did not lay it on." Okay, messed up. That's how dirty Moors get down. They want people to stay in that slave mentality of the mind, that they don't have any freedom. They can't think free, right? Like, you know, I have an issue and, you know, I'm going to go research it. You know, now you got to come over here because, you know, we have the way. You know, you can't go to those guys over there because their way is not the way and then our way is really the right way. What are you talking about? This is birthright. You got like 500 million ways that you could freaking kick this European's ass around here. Ain't no special way. Yo, whoever studies is gonna figure out how much ways, you know what I mean, to beat them. Because there's many ways to beat them. There's not no one way. But if they get people thinking that there's one way, then people say, "Oh, like, I don't gotta study. I just put down $50 to this guy, and then, you know, I'll just use his way." When that guy, he's the guy that's on the path. Just keeping on the path. Somebody's coming, yo. I'm gonna get somebody down. I'm gonna tell them that this is the way. You know, rob people, highwaymen, right? Always. And remember, it's an overseer mentality. Like, this is a mentality that these individuals have. Because their job is, if they're not working with the prophet, they're working for slave master. It's as simple as that. If you're not working with the prophet, then you're down with slave master. Why? Because Allah sent the prophet. You know, Allah is Allah, universal law. So I don't care what you follow, you know what universal law is. I don't care what you proclaim to be your school of thought. Universal law, everybody knows what that is, and everybody knows that they're governed by those. You don't have a choice in the matter. You're just a screw in this machine. You know what I mean? Right? This higher force is just using us as little pawns to manifest what it wills. You know what I mean? We're pieces of this. Right? So these mental slave masters or overseers. Duty is to get people to not study, get people to think that studying is, you know, not the way to go, right? That they need somebody. They need somebody. Like when you know, my mentality is the person I need is the book. The person I need is the info, not a guy giving me the info.
Yeah.
My middleman is the information.
It's true.
Right? My middleman's not a guy. That's why I get mad when people say, Taj Tariq Bey teachings. It's not his teaching. He doesn't have no teachings. You know what I mean? You're not boosting him like that. Like, just a man with information that he got from a source that anybody could go get.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing secretive. You know what I mean? Right? Nobody doesn't have any teachings around here. Buddha's teachings. Buddha's teachings. It's his teachings. I mean, it's lessons. It's not Noble Drew Ali's information. There were Moors before him.
Information been here from the beginning.
If people want to play games with this, right? Historian Kenneth M. Stamp describes the role of coercion in slavery. Without the power to punish, which the state conferred upon the master, bondage could not have existed. By comparison, all other techniques of control were of secondary importance. Stamp further notes that while reward sometimes led slaves to perform adequately, most agreed with an Arkansas slaveholder who wrote, "Now I speak what I know. When I say it is like casting pearls before swine, to try to persuade a Negro to work. He must be made to work, and should always be given to understand that if he fails to perform his duty, he will be punished for it." Right? So that's where they're at. They're in a position where, you know, they are failing their work. Whoever put them on, think about it. Think about the last, let me see, think about maybe the last 6, 8 months, right? As far as Moors who are studying and all that, right? The assault on Moors, right, by our own, has accelerated like expeditiously. Like, they're going hard right now to try to slow this down. They're bringing up stuff that doesn't even have anything to do with anything, just to try to divert people's attention away from, being a Moor, and have their attention on their little club or whatever crap that they have that's falling. That, you listen to their classes and it's only them in there. Right? Certain people's classes you listen to, you watch on YouTube, you notice that there's an audience. There's people who are coming there to learn something. Certain people, it's just them there. I just let people know something. Right? Just let people know something automatically. But, everybody's, many people are under mental slavery. Because they don't want to give Noble Drew Ali a chance. That's all. Just give him a chance.
Yeah. Give him a chance to exercise.
He's heavier than people think that he is, and how people put him off to be. You know what I mean? Like, heavy. But I could only say that because I checked it out, and he's heavy, Like, I mean, I've been around here with the own plates and stuff like that, exercising birthright. Not nothing new, like, you gotta prove something to somebody that we're Moors.
Yeah, you gotta prove that you know you are.
I mean, they know what's up already.
They know.
They know what's up. We don't have to prove anything to them. We just have to be ourselves. and there's people having people fighting their self from being themselves
Mm.
because they're listening to somebody who's not their self.
Yeah.
A black guy is telling you something about Moors, you gotta listen to him.
Right up.
He doesn't know himself,
If I was so black.
right? Another thing I wanted to touch on too. Um, around August, I don't know if this was even talked about or whatever, but around August 21st, um, this state senator, Nasheed, jostles with police over prosecutor petition delivery. So they had some 70,000 signatures gathered from all over the country. Let's read a little bit of this madness right here. Right? NBC madness. And keep in mind, we're still talking about overseers
Yeah.
and mental slavery. Mental slavery. A system, a perpetual system of being closed-minded
Mm.
and not open to anything, even facts.
Lockdown.
On lockdown, like lockdown, right? Threatened with arrest. State Senator Jamila Nasheed refused to back down, crossing a yellow line of police tape to deliver petition signatures to St. Louis County Prosecutor Bob McCullough, calling for a special prosecutor in the Ferguson, Missouri shooting case. The confrontation came as Nasheed and 15 others attempted to deliver over 70,000 signatures gathered from all over the country. Take your hands off me, don't touch me, I'm a state senator. Right? Remember, those are the same ones, the first ones that are going to go in the pot. Right? Because remember, she's using the status. All right? She's using the status. I'm a state senator, you can't touch me. Right? Okay. So people like to say they study King Alfred plan, but they never show the book. You know, people like to talk about they study King Alfred plan, but you know, they're misquoting things. They're thinking they're smart and stuff. When, all right, at the appropriate time to be designated by the president, the leaders of some of these organizations are to be detained only when it is clear that they cannot prevent the emergency, working with local public officials during the first critical hours. All other leaders are to be detained at once. Compiled lists of minority leaders have been readied at the National Data Computer Center. It is necessary to use the minority leaders designated by the president, right, for your state senator, right? Designated by the president in much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central and federal, and we cannot, until there is no alternative, reveal King Alfred in all its aspects. Minority members of Congress will be unseated at once. Well, she's a state senator, right? This move is not without precedent in American history. There's that part. And then with the 8-hour countdown to head off the emergency, in the second hour, all minority leaders, national and local, detained. So we continue. You will be arrested, the officer was heard to warn. Protest continues peacefully after Nasheed is allowed to deliver petitions. McGee offered to take the signatures up to the prosecutor's office himself, but the crowd shouted him down. After a 2-minute standoff, McGee allowed Nasheed and 2 others to carry up the petitions. Now, she says the pressure is on the Missouri governor, Jay Nixon, to make the next move. He needs to man up, blah, 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 right? So people have to man up and all this to make sure that, you know, black people can be respected and honored, you know, because they got 750,000 signatures or whatever, right? But everybody forgets about 2000 presidential election, right? When they took all the minority votes and threw them away, right? So Bush could win. Same thing going on with the signatures, blocking them at the door and all that stuff, because all those minorities' names right there don't have any weight at law.
Yeah.
You're just playing around. Not serious about having rights or being respected or anything like that. Obviously not serious about it. But if you're serious about it, you wouldn't have no senator come in and deliver nothing. You just go file class action. Be done with it. All those people and all those lawyers around them, nobody's not talking about filing class action.
I know. Makes no sense, man.
Right? But you know, that's what it is when you have a lawyer. Because the lawyer doesn't work for the people. The lawyer works for the court. If you got one, you're done for. If you got one, you're done for. I'm just looking for the answer for this next question. All right, here we go. Right, once again, everybody's on the outside. If you have questions, make sure that you have questions. Go into credible sources. And the most credible source is Noble Drew Ali, because it's the prophet. And he laid everything out since 1913.
Easy for you.
Easy for you. Little small books and all that, nothing too big, strenuous. He knows how the mental slavery goes. He made it easy for Moors. Moors like stuff hard. Moors only learn at the point of a sword and all those type of stuff. So if that's what they want, then that's what they're going to get. I mean, it's just that simple. So the question is, and I love this question because it shows the lack of faith some of these dirty people have for Noble Drew Ali, right? The lack of faith, right? Since he could cure tuberculosis through products from Moorish Manufacturing Corporation and herbs, and stories emerged from him stopping blood clots, why didn't he cure himself in 1929? Right? So we'll start with once again, right? Remember, we're going to Noble Drew Ali. We haven't used any references other than Noble Drew Ali to prove the point, right? So oral statements, okay, and then people are going to bypass what Noble Drew Ali said and go with whatever is out there instead of taking what this is, what he said, right? And then want to say we're worshiping. Nah, man said something. Like, what do you mean? He said something. Mom says don't touch the stove. You touch stove, then you get stuff. All right, so if you're gonna go against what he said, when you get burned, don't get mad. Don't blame Moors because you got arrested. That's your ass that was doing some madness out there to make you get arrested. Because I know Moors that they're inside all day. All they do is study. They don't have time for nothing else. They might go get something to eat. Some Moors got people, go do stuff for them. Lovingly, willingly. But some Moors look for stuff to get into. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and get a ticket to go fight something. I'm gonna go get a ticket so I can go to court and proclaim my nationality. Yeah, right. You better freaking stop that stupidness right there. Stop watching these videos. Stop watching these guys going into court on video.
You guys don't understand the process.
Right. So, and we're not even gonna stray, because Noble Drew Ali said, "My remedies will cure you of anything that you weren't born with." That's the prophet talking. Anything. So if somebody's gonna tell me he died of tuberculosis because he had Moorish doctor, you know what I mean, and that's what the autopsy whatever, then that doctor probably sold out too, and the lawyer who signed that probably sold out too, because prophet said that his remedies will cure you from anything, and I doubt he wasn't taking his own stuff. If you know to cure you from anything you're born with, why wouldn't he take his own stuff? Who you know? The doctor said he doesn't take his own stuff. Dr. Sebi's so Dr. Sebi's telling people take something,
But he's not gonna take
but
it.
he's not taking it. He's taking something from over there. Stupid people, right? You know,
Mm.
and that's what more. That's what's in the more. That's what's on this side.
Yeah.
So people can take what's on this side
Mm.
as you know presented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the other thing that Noble Drew Ali said is think.
Mm.
And a lot of Moors don't do that.
Mm.
They want to be told stuff all the time. But all you have to do is just think. Think and save yourself. Think and save yourself. Right? So if Moors want the article, you email the brother for the article. It's FATHIE underscore ALI underscore ABDAT at MOE dot edu dot sg, right? So and the brother was trying. He's not even knocking nothing. But you got 13 questions, fam. Somebody played you, bro. Somebody played you. Sorry to say it, but somebody played you.
I don't think it's his questions. I think it's that person I was holding.
Right. And then just to also just back up the question with regard to the tuberculosis and all that stuff there, right? Oh yeah, this is I'm going to repeat myself, right? Khalifa Media, go get it. This is for the because Canaanland Morse class 2 hours long, and people are bored. They're gonna go back and look at 2 hour classes to find information. So we're gonna put this out again, even though we did it already. We're gonna put it out again just because, you know what I mean? People think that Noble Drew Ali is full of beep and stuff like that because, his stuff didn't work and he died of tuberculosis and, blah, blah, right? So now, how about let's ask the Moors, right? So, testimonials. Dear friends, I have suffered with a continual pain in my left side for several years, and have tried all kinds of medicines, but later I came to the conclusion that I would try the Moorish bodybuilder and blood purifying tonic. After I had used one package, I was able to work. Yours truly, Miss Melvin. Right? So that's somebody who's outside. Miss Melvin. Okay. So she tried the stuff. Okay. Now what do you think that's gonna do now? Now let's say the lady has back pain or something like that. Right? Negro black color, coming out of slavery, slave master, that's why, it's passed down in my family, my back, and more gives her something, why don't you try this stuff, see if it works. You don't think she's gonna join a temple after? You don't think she's not gonna tell her whole family that there's this guy up at this place called Moorish Science Temple and he's doing all this healing and all this type of stuff, giving people one drop of this thing and they're like jumping out their wheelchairs and stuff like that? You think people aren't gonna join the temple after that?
Everyone's gonna join.
Everybody's gonna damn join. Right, and we'll just put a more on the record too. To the Moorish Manufacturing Corporation. Right? After being sick for a long time, trying and buying everything that have benefited me and helped me in my condition, but I received no relief. After using the Moorish bath compound, mineral healing oil, and blood purifying tonic, my health was improved and I have gone to work. Burgess Bay. So it's out there. You know what I mean? If people want it, they can get it. If they don't want it, then whatever. Whatever. So we're gonna go because remember we're dealing with the mental slavery, right? And I think the biggest people in mental slavery right now is Hebrew Israelites, right? Let's put it in there. Let's put it out there, right? The biggest slaves right now, the biggest overseers right now are The Hebrew Israelites. Not the ones with nationality cards that know that they're Moors.
Yeah.
The other ones. Because you know that there's. So we already laid it down, and then in July or something like that, July 9th, just found this today actually, which is kind of, kind of funny. Um, July 9th, found a video today about Canaanland Moors ID card doesn't work or something like that. These Hebrew Israelites, GMS Toronto, Hebrew Israelites guys. So they're basically putting out that the Canaanland Moors nationality card doesn't work and all this stuff, right? They put up this video July 9th and they have about 87 views since July 9th. So we already know that these people are, nobodies, right? This is what we would say back in the day in high school, that these guys not in the cool corner, right? These aren't the guys. These are the guys with the, um, byway and you know what I mean? Those clothes there, right? You know, those guys, right? The guys with the pocket protector and stuff like that. Those guys, right? So they get a little bit of information, so they're hyped now. You know what I'm saying? Making videos and stuff like that because they're hyped now, right? Some things that they brought up that um, just want to prove the incompetence, right? Hebrew Israelites are supposedly um, practicing Judaism, right? High level, not no basic stuff or whatever, right? Now, according to Hebrew scriptures, right, that's known as the Torah. Okay. Now, the Torah is known as the law of God. Okay. So, if God, whoever they say their God is, right? If God is revealing law to Moses, how come these guys aren't studying law and stuff?
Exactly.
If God's revealing law, if the higher power, the higher force, right, revealed to Moses, right, their patriarch, Pentateuch, right, their patriarch is presenting to them the law in a book called the Torah. Why are they running from law for? And if they are running from law, when the Most High God, Yahweh, whatever they want to call God, brought law to their patriarch, aren't they a fraud if they're not pushing law?
Have to be.
No.
You have to be.
Right? So all these frauds, because, we already told people, it's not olive branch time anymore. Olive branch time's over. You guys had your chance. Come back home. You don't want to come home? Then that means you're on the side of the Inquisitionists. You don't know white man doing anything to anybody. Yeah, white man's a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Right? As far as black people are concerned, white man's a boogeyman. As far as Moors are concerned, white man, that's a sovereign. It's a free.
Something that they don't see.
They never see. Because they keep thinking that when Moors say white man, that only applies to a European.
Exactly. Yeah, it says, you can look up the definition. Why is that there? It says it does not mean Caucasian.
Does not mean Caucasian. But they don't hear that. They skip over that. So, you got people right now who, want to make a name, right? Because they're becoming less and less important. Their school of thought is fading away swiftly. You know what I mean? They have the sand going through the fingers right now, as far as their school of thought is concerned, right? because it's over. It's over. Priesthood's been dead. And all these so-called people pretending that they're, middlemen between people and God will become very unimportant with quickness. Right? The Most High carries our ID card. This is what these guys say, right? The Most High is the one that nationalized them. Okay. So the Most High carries their ID card, right? That's no different than a Christian telling me that there's gates in heaven that's going to open and people are going to go through those. Because a gate is something in this dimension. Milk and honey is in this dimension. What's God doing with milk and honey, with rivers of milk and honey, when He's omnipresent and all-seeing, all-knowing, and is invisible? This is mental slavery. The Most High has your nationality card. A card is a physical object. How is the Most High carrying your nationality card? They keep making this connection to Moors and Indians. No, sorry. Let me correct myself. They keep making this connection to Canaanland Moors and Indians and getting certificates from the European. What are you idiots talking about? What certificate from the European you talking about that we got? They keep making reference to status card. Indians have a status card, but that means you're under the jurisdiction of the whatever. We're not Indians. We have our own stuff, in case you didn't know. In case you thought that we were frauds, like those frauds that you guys like to drive up to their reserve and talk about, unity amongst the people or whatever like that, right? When you're going up there with the overseer, okay? We don't have Indian status cards. And what you should do is, since you guys like to go up there and talk to so-called Indians and all that, why don't you guys go up there and ask them about Moors? And if they have issues and if they doubt anything, why don't y'all come with them to the temple so we could school both y'all about Moors? Because we've been told y'all come to the temple, and all you jokers out there, Moor hating, Canaanland, we've been told y'all come to the temple. And y'all ain't coming to the temple. How come y'all not coming to the temple? Right? How come you're going to make videos before you come to the temple? Right? Talking about running away from the sword, we told y'all, 2533A, Eglinton Avenue West. You know where we're at every Sunday, 4 to 7 o'clock. We stream the class. So you can come, you can sit in on the class, bring all your books and all your whatever, and come to the temple. And I guarantee you that you probably won't come back if you come that one time. Why? Because more haters, right? People who don't know why, asking dumbass questions. How can you be Moabite and Canaanite and Israelite and all these different, which one are you? All of them are the same people. All of them are the same. All of them are dark-skinned people. What don't y'all get? What don't y'all get? Right?
It's like
Right.
all the same people, but you guys are so-called Canadians. It's like, right?
Saying that Moors are siding with Jay Electronica because he wore a fez. Who you talking about? Don't talk about me, because I already know about his Rothschilds and all that stuff. I've been talking about his Rothschilds and all that. So don't even try to infuse Canaanland Moors with other Moors who are riding that guy, because I don't ride that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't play rider because of wearing fezzes. We just put it out just to let dumb people like you know that even this guy who's freaking chasing after Rothschild's daughter or whatever, even he knows about Moors. And you dumbasses are talking about you're Hebrews. And even he knows about Moors. And then you're bringing up Jay-Z wearing a circle Quran chain. Circle 7 Quran chain. They have no Circle 7 Quran. That's Nation of Gods and Earth stuff. So if you want to talk shit about Jay-Z wearing chains, make sure that you're directing your stuff to the right people. Go ask the Nation of Gods and Earths why Jay-Z is not supporting that, and if he's supporting that or not since he has that chain. Because Jay-Z has nothing to do with Moors. And with regard to maybe Jay-Z, you know, is coming to the temple with that chain because, you know, Moors are Masons, you're a damn idiot. If you go to moorishcivalletter.net, and I'll spell that for you because I know you dirty Moors don't read, right? All you do is just parrot this Homo's book all the time. That's all you do. You're not even bringing out no Pentateuch. You're not even bringing out no Torah. You have King James crap talking about that's Bible. And when, you know, if you want to go in the Bible, make sure you go to Leviticus 19:27. And how come you guys cutting your hair and stuff like that? And you guys got no vowels around there? You're supposed to be cutting your hair. You got, you know, how come you guys' hair is low? Why is your hair low for? You guys playing around. This is birthrights. What's nationality card gonna do? Always, you know, trying to find some reason to disconnect people from their birthright. Moors are Masons, so I don't want to be a Moor. You're stupid, because Masons want to be Moors. That's why they got feathers. That's why all their feathers say Isis and Arabian names and Queen of Sheba and all this stuff. But y'all don't want to hear that, you know. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear about, you know, Moorish, Jewish stuff, right? You're not going to talk about Moor's Gate in Jerusalem, you know, but you guys are Hebrews, though, right? Jokers. Why didn't I get a Moabite nationality card? I'll answer that question for you, jackass. Just because outside people always talking crap, don't know anything about, don't know anything about this, but they're talking. How you don't know nothing about this and you're talking? You know nothing about this. Don't talk about nationality card don't work if you got a TD Visa card that you're pulling out your pocket, right? Okay, because you know we're out here. We know, you know, hiding the name. How come you're hiding the name on the TD stuff? What name's on there? What are you hiding? You know, is it not a Hebrew name that you got on your TD stuff there? I thought y'all were Hebrew Israelites. You know, I thought the Most High has your nationality card. The Most High didn't give the bank your nationality card so you can go get a bank account in your Hebrew name? Hmm? Why don't I have a Moabite nationality card? Because the nationality of Ruth is Moabitess. And the modern name of Moabites is Moroccan. And the short form for Moroccan is Moor. Common sense, real basic. You know what I mean? Child's play. That's why I don't have a Moabite nationality card. But you still can't. And I'm not buying that crap about Most High has your Hebrew nationality card. Forget that shit right there. Right? Because y'all were in the car driving somewhere. So if you're driving somewhere, you gotta have plates on that thing that you're driving. If you have plates, then you gotta have insurance. If you have insurance, then you gotta have a license. And if you have a license, then that means you're not a Hebrew Israelite. That means you're a corporate slave of the corporate Canada corporation. And the reason why you guys are standing on a damn corner, right? The reason why you guys standing on a corner, right, is because you're slaves in your own land and don't even know it. You standing on the corner begging people, right? No different than the bum on the corner begging change. You're begging people to accept your perspective. You're forcing people to accept your indoctrination and then get mad when they don't accept it. Don't compare that to birthright. Because, you know, birthright, everybody knows about Moors. It's not a secret, right? All drunk people coming up dissing you guys. Even the European hippies, you guys couldn't answer their questions. Talking about Edomites and stuff. About Edomites. Like you never had something to do with their creation. Like they just came out of nowhere. Oh yeah, curse those guys over there because, they're the demon child. Okay, well, you made them. So,
So they are whatever you are.
you know what I mean? Well, you gonna keep ridiculing, or you gonna bring them back into the fold, right? But they never do that because that's the Edomites.
One thing about it is like they always blame someone. It's always someone.
Always blaming,
the white man.
and that's the slave mentality. That is the slave mentality. The slave mentality is to let people, especially people who are trying to come into knowing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's really where the injury is. Mm-hmm. Because it's the innocent people who really, that get themselves caught up in stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? Just like, you know, somebody saying, the Taj stuff doesn't work. Mm-hmm. If that's your mentality right there, as soon as you push that thing out there, you lose. Exactly. If that's your mentality, that, oh yeah, Kudrow gave me this nationality card, so now I'm going to show a nationality card because Kudrow gave it to me. You already lost. As soon as you do like this and show it, you already lost. Whatever you do is going to fail, guaranteed. And if it doesn't fail, it's probably because they recognize that, oh, okay, you guys are down with Kudrow's people. Yeah. Don't bother that guy. Because it's that real in Canada. Right? We don't have, ministry of certain things for nothing. Mm-hmm. But people could assume that, nothing's going on here, because they're not seeing us soapboxing. Moors don't soapbox. We got stuff to do. There's so much work to do. You talk about sitting on the corner trying to convince people about some crap. That's activity. You guys been on the street corner? No different than these guys with their Black History crap. Harassment, straight harassment. You know what I mean? Poor people, bothering people, disturbing the peace, right? So back to the prophet, since we're done with those goofs there. Back to Noble Drew Ali. So all these things that Noble Drew Ali told the Moors was for the Moors to get themselves right for themselves, not for anybody else. You know what I mean? Because it's your path. You want to be the guy on the path. You want to be doing something. You want to be active, right? Not chilling on the path or whatever, but like,
something on it.
Right. Brother J. Blakely Bay said that the Holy Prophet said that we are going to be taxed to death. So, saying we're going to be taxed to death. But then people are going to say, oh, Noble Drew Ali doesn't mean nothing to them, right? Yeah. Because they're not whatever. I mean, like Noble Drew Ali doesn't mean nothing to them, just because.
But then the Moors are the only ones that are getting taxed to death.
Right.
Israel,
So if they're taxing to death, right? If they're taxing to death, and not being taxed means that you'll have life, then why would you accept being taxed? Openly, like willingly. Why would you willingly accept being taxed if there's a process that you can do so you don't get taxed? Oh, and just for the record, just put it on the record, out here, right? People who are on social assistance out here, they have a card. So they don't pay tax.
What?
Yeah. I caught a sister using one at the grocery store the other day.
For social assistance? Is the card you get?
Taxes on card.
I never knew
I never did
that.
that
It
either.
steps out if they did that.
So the people who are on social assistance, I don't know if it's, you know, out there, if everybody knows or whatever, but
Wow.
because maybe bust mine too. I'm like, well, yo, well, whatever, you know what I mean? She's like, well, yo, you can use mine. I'm like, nah, don't worry, I got mine. I got mine. What's that? Okay. So, same thing, you know, just mine's not connected to social assistance.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah,
I
yo,
knew that.
she was willing. She was gonna do mine.
That's sick.
So you know that,
Yeah.
you know, majority of people who are on social
Yeah.
assistance out here
Yeah.
is Negro black culture,
Exactly.
and they got tax exempt as a Negro.
As a Negro, that's what I'm saying. As a Negro, bro.
As a Negro.
A Negro
But
not
you
pay
know,
tax.
that's the but again, you know, when you get down with the order, or when you buy rights, those get converted to privileges. And you might get a little, you know, some stuff just to make their stuff continue to run.
Yeah.
It's not really a benefit, but you know, because, but yeah, yo, yeah, big time, big time. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you are not careful, your own brothers will try to put you in slavery. That's all that's going on. Prophecy manifested. Prophecy manifested. Right? Europeans not even on the slavery or whatever no more. It's our own putting us in slavery. Because they want to be the new middleman.
They're getting played too.
Exactly.
Even worse.
For all the fam, you know what I mean? For all the fam. Ferguson. I mean, this one's for you. Sister M. Peyton Bay said that the Holy Prophet said, you are from Missouri. I have got to show you. It's prophecy. Why is he yelling from 1920, 19 whatever, that people are from Missouri? From back then he was yelling, you're from Missouri. They're not playing that. Why? Because we go black colored people.
You know that attitude is like,
They want to be Negro black colored people. Let me just, before you ask that question, Brother I. Cook Bay said that the Holy Prophet said, if you doubt that I am a prophet, watch my prophecies.
and everything you said.
And everything you said.
Years in advance.
Years.
Yeah.
100 years in advance. You know, give or take, you know, 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Because there was stuff being prophesied for,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But we're getting full blown hit out right now.
Full blown prophecies manifested. Like,
Right.
and nobody's not seeing it except Moors who are studying, and you know what I mean? And everybody else is thinking we're crazy people because, you know, nah, that ain't because of that.
What is it?
Alright, whatever.
We'll see.
You say you had a question?
Yeah. No, because you know how you said the guys who are from Missouri, right?
Mm.
So it's like you know people in Africa, they don't say oh from Africa, they're from Nigeria, you know, like
Right.
places. Like,
Yeah.
so like, basically be a mirror image over here then. So like say in California, they're not gonna say okay where they can say American, but they can say okay that's where that's why California.
That jurisdiction, yeah.
It makes sense.
Right, yeah. But depends if you know, like California, just like Ottawa is indigenous.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can say that.
Yeah.
Don't say OTT though.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever the
Yeah,
acronym is, you know what I mean? Like Ontario, that's an indigenous word.
Yeah.
You can say Ontario.
'Cause I knew something was about California. I didn't knew it because they have a school over there that's
Yeah.
called Moorish.
Yeah.
You know that?
Right.
There's a high
Yeah,
school
with
over there.
the
I seen it.
scimitars.
I'm like,
Yeah.
nah. I'm like,
Yeah. It's not
people are
real though.
tripping. It's right in front of you.
It's not real.
Why would they? Why inside America would they have that? A
Yeah.
school, a high school called that.
Yeah. But see, like, okay, so like things like that, right?
Mm.
That anybody should catch.
Yeah.
Anybody should pick that up. Like, hey, if Moors are from North Africa, why they got stuff over here?
Where's that? But there's no
That's the
Israelite
most.
things. People.
Where's the Israelite stuff? Yeah.
Where's that?
Is there anybody? Yes. Yeah. And that's what's the thing called again? This is a study challenge. A study challenge. Somebody find something called Israelite something out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's a figurine, whether it's a um, anything that there's a Moors of, a Moors whatever. So Moorish castle, Moorish figurine, Moorish
Temple
clock,
Yeah.
Moorish statue, Moorish tavern,
Even Moorish buildings.
Moorish building, Moorish head on a bridge, Moorish whatever. Find me the equivalent of that, whatever's Moorish in Israelite. That's the challenge that I'll put out there to all those fakers who want to call themselves stuff that they're not. Everything that the Moors presented, right? So we can go to, if we go to, we got the Moor in Germany, right? Who he has his collection of stuff termed Moorish whatever, right? We got the Moor in the Netherlands, right? Who he's in the Netherlands, then he's a Moor. Nationalized all that, okay? We got the Moors in the UK, that they have all the crests or whatever that they can show the Blackamoor crest, right? We have the family in South America that they got their botanicas, and then you go inside, and then they sell candles, and they got Moroccan candles, but they're Mexican. Why they got Moroccan candles? Okay, right? Red and green. Right? Why they repping it that hard?
I'm saying they had to come up with something because like I said, that's why I brought the African and Nigeria because if Nigeria have a school or someone saying okay Nigerian so but over here we have something that says more
Right.
a high school that says more on it.
Yeah.
Like you just want to put that on spelled MOOR. So like they have to come up with something. Show me something.
Show something. That's the challenge. You know? The
We
cut
do
up
it
man.
fast.
Hey, cut up man. Cut up more. Don't forget cut this part up. Just cut this part up that we challenge all of the so-called whatever you call yourselves to find us anything. Find us things that are documented facts, artifacts, or whatever that are called whatever you say you are. We have Moorish stuff that we can speak for. We got Moorish castles, etc., that we can speak for to say there's this thing called Moorish. So we want everybody out there who calls yourself whatever to find something that if you got Israelite temples or something, show me some Israelite temples. I would love to know that there's some Israelite temples.
I want to get documented.
You know, show me some Nuwapian stuff, right? Show me something. Don't show me Kemetic stuff that you guys, inherited and then painted yourself.
Yeah.
No, none of that. There's none more. Ancient stuff, right?
We have even Moors on the treaty with America.
Yeah.
It says Moors right there.
Just present something,
Or something.
right? Just present something, so we can be clear. Okay, we want to make sure that we're gonna say that we are who we say we are, that we got
Even
some
a video.
stuff to back up.
Show us a Hollywood
You know what I mean?
video saying that they look to a so-called black man and say, yo, Israelite.
Israelite, yeah, that guy's an Israelite, yeah,
I
in a
can give you-
movie
I can
or
give you
whatever,
plenty- I
yeah,
can give you plenty of movies
yeah. Where they recognize people as
they call
Moors.
them Moors.
Yeah.
Moors.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman a Moor inside
Right.
Robin Hood.
Yeah,
Martin
we'll put that
Lawrence
one
in
out
Dark
there
Knight.
too. Yeah, we'll put that one out there too. Also, too, we'll add to the mix not just statues, bridges, and all the clocks and all that stuff, but also movies. Find me some movie, TV show, sitcom, anything where they mentioned, even freaking Seinfeld mentioned Moors, right? So find me somewhere that they mentioned Israelites. You'll find me somewhere to mention Hebrew. Just, anything. Anything you could find, we just want to see it so we can, since we want to see the facts, you know what I mean? But we're tired of showing you guys pictures of more stuff. Just go back and check the record. The Holy Prophet said, this is the uniting of Asia. This is the uniting of Asia. That's a broad jurisdiction. And that includes Hindus that, Hebrew Israelites hating on, these guys aren't brothers and stuff like that. But they got more melanin than some of them Hebrew Israelites. You know what I mean? Right? It's for centuries, the sadhus of India had long locks or whatever, bun it before some Rastafarian movement or whatever like that, right? And the sadhus are mystics, so they weren't on no recreational drugs, just bunning weed because they just bored, nothing to do, whatever, right? They're high priests.
Everything you do is spiritual too.
They're high priests. So they're doing something smoking.
It's not doing it
Like some hobby or
something.
nothing. You know what I mean? No different than, if we stay in just gold. We're not doing that because, gold tastes good.
Yeah.
We just some gold.
Because
There's a spiritual aspect to that.
They are close. They are close to us. Like very close. Even on Moorish Road, there's like this Indian restaurant, and the girl has a picture in there. And it was Indian that his hair was like afro. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
yeah.
It's like an afro.
Yeah, Sri something or whatever. Yeah, with
like,
an orange.
He looks like a brother too. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, he obviously is more because like I'm looking at him like he's like white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he has some
Afro man.
Yeah. Afro like us.
Yeah, like a real Afro.
Yeah, like a real Afro, bro.
But you can tell that he's Indian.
Yeah.
That's all. And then that's the guy that they revere. The guy with the Afro, not the guy with the straight. That's Indian. The guy with the Afro is the guy that they look at as the.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Oh, and also too, just so that we don't get cut off on time, before I put this on the record. no, something else. Let's put this on the record. Noble Drew Ali said, this is the uniting of Asia, right? Which also includes Europe. Right? So we just want to put that out there for, the Europeans out there who know what's up. They study what Noble Drew Ali brought, and they realize that, this is the Moorish birthright. People need to stop playing around and get down with nationality and birthrights because this is their birthright. So, just want to put it out there so nobody don't feel left out and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because we're not the Hebrew Israelites, we're not Edomites and all that stuff, right? We see that, we're gonna go with what the prophet said, you know what I mean? And the prophet said that the Europeans are fellow man. So if he's our fellow man, then obviously they got some work that we got to be doing together because we recognize that there is an enemy. You know what I mean? And the good thing about it is that Europeans on Moorish science recognize that the enemy looks like them too. They're not playing the side. Oh yeah, enemy is dirty Moors, but not European. They know what's up. A couple more, got about 2 minutes left. Sister A. Brown L. said, the Holy Prophet said, your nationality card is going to change in your pocket. The Holy Prophet said, Moorish leaders, don't burden my Moors. That's why you heads like to play around. Like this is not people's birthright. Oh yeah, we'll close out with this for all those heads too. The Holy Prophet Drew Ali said, that said the following things at the first convention. The garment that I have on represents power, and if you obey my voice, you will have power with me. I'm going to free you, though it's hard, because of your mixture, which brings about many different spirits. When you fail to hear my voice, you are lost. When you fail to hear my voice, you are lost. It is against the law to stand up in any audience intoxicated. The leader is not to stay out all night giving earnings away to someone else. You who are heads of temples, it is easy for you to destroy the influence of the temple. Now lace up your shoes and get right. You, stop figuring out your way, how your salvation shall come. Just follow me. You can say one thing, Moors. You have made a start for the kingdom. If you want success, you must follow the prophet. Husbands, take care of your wives and families. Wives, keep your homes and children clean. I have done more than you think. I want you to help me by your good deeds of living at home and abroad. It is to your good, not with your lips, trying to be in the front seat in everything, always standing in my face. Moors, be careful of your steps. Leaders of temples must be careful how they walk. They must be an example. I am not asleep. It will take you Moors a long time to find out what I did today. When you all go home, don't start no stuff, for I will be right there listening at you. The Holy Prophet Noble Juali also said, this is no social organization. It is a divine and national movement. By you being born here doesn't make you a citizen. Look what I have on. Now this was handed to me by the government. It represents the royal prince. Sister M. Whitehead, who was of Illinois and who was the Holy Prophet's wife aunt, she was the aunt of Sister Pearl Ali. She said, the Holy Prophet said in 1925 that I have mended the broken wires and have connected them with the higher powers. Islam. Islam, Moors. Yeah, I know you got no stuff. Don't be trying no stuff. I'm watching you. Dirty bastards. Watching you. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. Hotep. We had a good class today. Don't forget Moorish Heritage and History School, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, coming up at 9:30. And as well, this month, don't forget Sons of Allah, third Thursday, on the same blog talk show. Third Thursday of the month, 9 p.m. Um, and anything else, we just say peace and love to the Moors. We'll see y'all or listen to y'all at 9:30. We'll just close out with our prayer. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His Holy Prophet, Noble Ali. Ashe. Islam, Moors, peace and love. Don't forget, man, just keep putting it out there. Just keep putting it out. Anything that you do as a Moor, just put it out there so people know what's up. Because it's time right now. It's time. Islam.